Is the fountain of youth overrated? Hi, Nancy Beauvais here with Agape and Next Steps, and I wanted to explore the concept of the fountain of youth and our chasing of longevity. So for eons, I know that historians typically refer to Ponce de Leon as the person who was looking for the fountain of youth, but actually historically, it's always been elusive. There are references to Alexander the Great of him searching for what did they call it, the river of life or something like that. But he was referencing the fountain of youth, living forever, having immortality. And for some reason, we seem to be fixated on extending our lives exponentially. I know that in my lifetime alone, the life expectancy of people has been extended by a number of years. So for some reason, we seem to chase youth. It's interesting that in other cultures, elders are revered, they're respected, and they're seen as guiding lights for the culture, for the community, to learn from their wisdom, learn from their experience. And they understand that there's a cycle. We're born, we live, and eventually our time has come when we pass on. But in our Western culture, we seem to be fixated on youth. Staying young, we have tummy tucks, we have facelifts, we have butt lifts, we have heart transplants, kidney transplants, liver transplants, pharmacological interventions that prevent people from who normally would have passed away with heart attacks, people who have debilitating chronic conditions that are able to maintain in a stable fashion. There seems to be this emphasis that youth is better or living forever is wonderful. Now, I'm not suggesting that all of us line up when we're a certain age and beg to be put to sleep and never worry about anything. But what I am suggesting is that we are coming into a bit of a conundrum with where we are. Our planet truly can only support so many people. There's only so much water. We're having, everybody talks about climate change, and we're having a shift in our climate status. So places are becoming arid where they used to be able to grow food. So we can't really sustain a population beyond what the earth can comfortably provide for. But beyond that, there are other moral and ethical concerns that I think we need to talk about. I've mentioned in other videos, we have people who are living longer lives, and thanks to medical science, we actually are living healthier for a longer period of time. And I'll also give credit here, it's better nutrition, it's more awareness of what good nutrition is, it's exercise, lifestyle. So we are functioning in the Western world, at least, we are functioning in fashion that is supporting our longevity. And then you couple that with the pharmacological and the medical interventions, and we've got people who are routinely living into their 90s and hundreds. Now, I read an interesting article recently, and it said that some recent research has found that we do kind of top out, regardless of where we are with all of our medical interventions and what we can do to keep people alive and keep them living longer. There seems to be a maximum expiry date for the human body. And based on this research, it says it taps out at around 115 years of age. So unless something happens and we end up having bionic everything, I don't really see us living beyond that. That apparently is a threshold that is almost never crossed. But let's get back to some of the other societal implications of keeping us alive for a long time. So here in the Western world, let's talk about retirement. I'm sure that many of you listening to this remember the big ad campaigns a few years ago about Freedom 55. It was all about planning for your future, setting money away so that you could be free. You didn't have to work anymore after age 55. You could live a life of leisure and retire and enjoy life while you're still young and healthy and vibrant. The problem with that is if you retire at 55 or 60 or 65 or 70, but you live to be 90 or 100 or 104, do you have enough money to carry you through there? See, we used to retire at 65 and the life expectancy was somewhere in the neighborhood of like 72 or 73. So you could sustain yourself financially if you had been fortunate enough to have planned. You could sustain yourself financially until you passed away. But now you're living an extra 30, 40 years, sometimes 50 years after you retire, and you run out of money before you run out of life. And then there's the issues that while we are being kept alive, there are costs, financial costs to these medical interventions. There's drug costs, there's lab costs, there's the cost of doctors, not just out of our own pockets, but from society. Here in Canada, we have our medical plan that is sustained through our tax dollars. But those have limitations, so without increasing taxes and watching how that money is allocated, it's like a big black hole where money can go into in order to keep us alive without any sustainability. Now, there's also things like third-party health insurance that you can get that helps with some of those costs. There's also something now called long-term care insurance. If you are anticipating a long life and you know that you potentially will have a chronic condition, you can actually take out insurance that will help with some of the medical costs and the care needs at some point in the future. So again, here we go, and we're now buying insurance products while we're staying alive, which again, let's measure that against quality of life. Then there's the whole issue that I've addressed in many videos and many articles, the fact that our bodies can be maintained through interventions. However, our minds are not. We still get the plaque buildups. We still get the plaque buildups in our brains. We still get different things, different problems that happen that affect our memory and our cognitive function. And we are ending up with an epidemic of seniors who are healthy enough through their body, but they aren't cognitively capable of making decisions for themselves, of living on their own, of managing their affairs. And yeah, that's great that they have, an enduring power of attorney or family members to support them. But you have to ask the question, and we should all be asking this question: what is it that you want out of life? Do you want to live to be 112, but have really no memories, no cognition, limited social interactions for 10, 15, 20 of those years while your body is still being maintained? Thank goodness that now, if you do opt for MAID, you do have an option. If you have started already with Alzheimer's or other forms of dementia, you can apply to have MAID sometime in the future when your cognition gets to a certain point. So there's all of those issues. And then there's the issue of the intergenerational aspect of things. You've got people who are in their 70s and 80s who are taking care of their relatives who are in their 90s and 100s. So when you have people who are in their 70s and 80s who are managing the care of their relatives who are in their 90s and 100s, what quality of life do those seniors have when they're always stressed and worrying about their loved one who is older, who needs to have all of this managed care? And then the 70 and 80-year-old children who are in their 50s and 60s are busy taking care of their immediate family, their children, while they're managing the care of their parents who are managing the care of their parents. So it can become a very stressful situation. So this is not necessarily a bad thing that we're able to live healthier lives. I think that it's wonderful that through diet and exercise, nutrition, or thanks to certain medications and vaccines, we are able to live vibrant, healthy lives for a very, very long time. But at what point are we at that tipping point? I'm not suggesting I have the answer to that, but I think that it would be a good idea for us as a society to start having some of these discussions, some of these dialogues, and asking about what respect do we give to our elders, and at what point do we accept the inevitability of our demise. I'm going to leave you with that right now, and I hope that we are able to open a dialogue. Start talking with your friends and your families about this. And until we talk about it, we can't even begin to come up with any solutions, if there ever are any. So thanks very much. I'll talk to you again. Bye for now.